Okay, people create content, expect to go viral in their first 30, 40 posts, and they don't even realize they might be the 100th person talking about the same topic over and over. And some people don't even start making their first videos because they think they have to get the best camera and best microphone, which is crazy because working with real estate and mortgage professionals for the past 2 and 3 years has taught me what most people fear the most, that's stopping them from creating content. So before I start, I want y'all to know I'm not a realtor or a mortgage broker or a lender, but I've spent the last 2 or 3 years working with people in those industries, helping them scale their content game, lead generation, digital marketing. Now I've built a team and a company to help more people solve their marketing pain points. And I'm just here to show you how it's not magic. It's just basic math and science, without even breaking the bank, sharing all information 100% free. So today I'll break this video into three main parts. First, we'll talk about what's holding you back and breaking limiting beliefs that stops people from making content or explain why your content isn't working. Second, we'll discuss the importance of quantity and why you need to create tons and tons of content and videos and posts in the early stages of your social media campaign. And lastly, we'll talk about what quality looks like and how to achieve quality. So let's talk about what's holding you back. First, people overthink before making their first video. They worry about the best camera that they have to get, what to wear, which makeup to put on, lighting, and whether they have to buy a new mic or not. Because before their first content even reaches their audiences, they've already spent tons of money in the things that they don't even need. The only thing you need is the same device you're using to watch this video, whether it's a laptop or a your phone. And I'm not the first person to tell you this, hopefully, but and hopefully I'll be the last. So after finishing this video, I want you to turn your camera on and start talking. Don't spend money on anything until your audience tells you it's time for an upgrade. So stop overthinking because this is the only video, hopefully only video you need to watch before you made your first content ever. So if you're worried about, what to talk about, here's my biggest tip. Just tell people what you're doing right now and document your journey. And if you're beyond that, let's say you have 10, 20 videos uploaded, just copy the last person that you saw doing the same things in the similar industry that you're on and use that as your content because knowing they're not the only person talking about that. So you could be the next person that's doing it better. Next is realizing what's actually coming for you. First, think about how long it might take and how long you should expect it to take. Think of Mr. Beast, a phenomenal YouTuber. Took him 5, 10 years and over 1,000 videos to get where he is right now. And behind every video are hundreds of hours of learning, producing, planning, making mistakes, learning from mistakes. And the focus shouldn't be on whether you'll make a million views with a video, but on creating and refining the process that makes a video reach a million views. And lastly, you won't be satisfied with your first 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 videos, and maybe even up to 100 because you'll start comparing yourself to others who seem better, let's say better, and eventually you might feel that you can't quite compete with them and just decide to quit. Just to let you know, that feeling is completely normal, but letting that feeling conquer you is what you shouldn't let happen. Understand? Awesome. So next is staying consistent. Did you know that 90% of podcast channels only uploads 3 episodes in their entire lifetime? So to be in the top 1%, you only need to publish 21 podcast episodes, which makes you part of the elite, which is crazy. Because the same goes for YouTube and TikTok and Instagram and other platforms. Ultra successful creators have spent years and made tons, hundreds, thousands of mistakes to refine their content. And most people fail because they think it's not working after just posting their 10th video or content. So consistency is crucial, but not to hope you'll hit the jackpot, but because it allows you to see what's wrong and then refine, tweak your content, and eventually succeed without relying on luck. Now, let's talk about content currency exchange. Now, there are three main components that you need to understand, which is attention, time, and trust. So when you're starting out, don't expect to make money right away. And if you have 200, 300, 400 plus followers, and you're hoping that at least half of them will want to do business with you, just realize that not even a quarter of those people following you will see your video, and not even half of those people will watch your video. So before your content even generates organic traffic and leads, expect these three things. First, you need to give proper attention to your audience. Know what they want to hear, and know what they want to, what they need from you. Because giving them your attention just shows that you care for them. Just it shows that you care about what they want to get from you. Second is spend time, lots of time, doing this. Because if you think you can succeed by spending only 1, 2, 3 hours a week, you're wrong. You need to invest at least 10, 20 hours more time, even giving more attention to get even 1% of return of all of your efforts. And lastly, you have to build trust, because being real and authentic with what you show and genuinely connecting with your audience will build and make a huge difference. Therefore, eventually your audience will give back and reciprocate the same attention, time, and trust you've given and invested in them. And the information you provided holds high value. And if you've proven yourself as a trusted source of information, that is worthy of their time and attention, you will start seeing results. So and basically this is how you monetize, by showing these three main things, which is attention, time, and trust. And you make people give back the same attention, time, and trust to your channel. When they see you as a valuable investment, they will be willing to spend on you at a time. Because remember, this is not an overnight win. You'll need to improve constantly, because one day, when these three elements are well established with your audiences, you won't need to spend a single dime on advertising or hiring marketers to get leads for you, generate money for you. You'll be just one tweet away from making $10,000. Don't you think that's worth 3 to 5 years of not seeing immediate results, or being laughed at, or doing silly things over the internet? Just so one day your Instagram story will be making tons and tons of money for you and for your business. So if you're already running content and it's not working or making money, and even after 2 or 3 years of consistent posting, you might not be giving enough attention to what your audience wants to see. Or you could have one video with 1,000 views, but you didn't leverage it enough, that you missed the clue about what type of content works for your people. So if you're not making money, maybe you're not spending enough time as well producing quality content that matters to your audience. So from planning and producing to creating, editing, and publishing your videos or your content, have you given each step enough time to show that content matters to you and it matters to your audience as well? And lastly, people might not trust you yet, because this ties into the next parts we'll talk about, which is quantity and quality. So to gain trust, you have to show that you believe and you trust on the things that you do and you say online. So go ask yourself which one you haven't done yet, and focus on that more, because eventually things should change drastically just by creating and tweaking that small bit of what you're doing with your content right now. Now let's talk about content in numbers. Let me tell you a quick story called The Parable of the Pottery Class. In a pottery class, the teacher divided the students into two groups, Group A and Group B. Now, one group was told they will be graded solely on the amount of work they produce, so they had to make one pot a day for the next 30 days. And the other group would be graded on just one single perfect pot. The first group aimed and tried to make 30 pieces of pot once a day to get an A, and the other group, however, just focused on creating one flawless piece of pot, trying to perfect it. At the end of the day, or at the end of the 30 days, the best pots were made by the group that made one pot a day, and all the students in that group received the highest grades. So while looking at the other group with the single pot group that tried to perfect it, none of them got an A. And the first group improved daily, learning from each mistake and refining their technique with every new pot that they make. Meanwhile, the second group spent their time planning, theorizing about perfection, and they ended up with one pot, but it wasn't as good as the best pots from the quantity group. What is it that I'm trying to say here? The lesson here is that creating a large volume of pots, or let's say content, leads to higher quality over time, because the more you create, the more you learn, and the more you improve. Because perfection isn't achieved by overthinking and underdoing things. It's achieved through practice and iteration. Then there's this fear that people have about perfection and imperfection. Now they think they have to find the perfect moment or the perfect timing or perfect content or workplace before they can say it's time, we can make it work now. Stop. You know what happened to those people? They become the ones who say, if it requires me 30 pieces of content to make it work, I'll make it work. I'll make 30 pieces in one day. Trust me, it'll be there. I'll make it work. I'll check the boxes. And yeah, they're there. They're actually there. They're trying to hope that it might work, but without thinking about the quality part. When I say quantity towards work, I mean quantity in refining and pounding and spending countless hours so that one day you actually know what good work looks like and never fail again. Because it's not about producing a lot of work or product hoping one piece might make a difference and hit the jackpot. It's about consistent effort and improvement, not hoping that one of your shitty videos might actually hit the lottery ticket. Here are three awesome guys I've been following for as long as I can remember. And not only have I followed them, but I've patterned most of the things that I'm doing right now from their journey. So they've paved the way for where I want to be just by, looking at how much they've done and being inspirational and realizing that it was never an overnight success. Take Alex Hormozi, a guy with a net worth of over $100 million. He started his podcast 6, 7, 8 years ago with only 250 downloads per month of this podcast. Now he's in the top 10 podcast channels, getting more than 10 million downloads per month. And then there's Ryan Serhant, who has 400 plus videos on his YouTube channel with over 1 million subscribers. And if you wanted to match that same amount of videos and did one video per week, it would take you almost 8 years. And then there's Gary Vaynerchuk. He spent his first 500 videos to up to 1,000 videos, I guess, talking about wine before he started his path to becoming Gary V of VaynerMedia. Now, these efforts were never counted as because we've never actually saw them. Because all we see right now is the success that they have and what they show in their audiences. But now let's talk about why people should keep watching you. It's all about creating content that matters, content that people find valuable, and that positions you as an expert. One of the biggest problems with people trying to make content is that their first steps is focus on what camera to buy, which lighting to get, where to hire video editors, and the other stuff that doesn't even matter. And in the first few weeks of creating content, they've spent tons of money that they don't even need. What you should focus on is creating a story that everyone can follow. Then retain people's attention by not being boring and by providing actual value and knowledge. Knowledge that people can actually use in their live businesses. And in this way, viewers will build a relationship with your brand and connect with your videos and see you as their go to expert solving their problems. But how do you actually create high quality and valuable content? It's pretty simple. You need to build a strong belief system in what you are saying. It's not about being knowledgeable, but it's about betting on what you say as true and effective. So being knowledgeable will win their approval because you know your stuff. But proving what you do is real and showing that you genuinely believe in it will make people trust in you way even more. Let's say one day it won't even matter what you sell to people, how much it's worth, as long as it's from you, people will buy because people trust your brand or just they trust you. Now let's say you let me sell your mansion or your house or your building. Imagine I'm the best real estate guy in your street or in your village. Super friendly, kids loves me, blah blah blah. And I can tell you, I know its worth, how big it is. I can sell your house like a brochure. You know, with your swimming pool, jacuzzi, yada yada yada. But then another guy comes in and says, "Hey, I'll sell your house for you. I know what to do and can get people to buy at your asking price." And then boom, he appeared. Who would you trust to sell your property? Who would you go to as your real estate guy? 100% of course you'll go to Ryan Serhan. He's done this more times than I have. He has a strong brand and background, and not just that, people trust him. And that's what quality and quantity content and good PR work does for your business. And I might have an idea on how to do it, but this other guy knows and believes that whatever you want, he'll provide it. And you believe in him too, because he'll make it work. Whether it's true or not, because he has established a name and a brand, you'll go with him and you'll just trust him. So every time you create content with the aim of building trust and authority, ask yourself this: am I sharing something I only made work once for John or Carl, hoping it works again? Or am I bringing a real story to the world? Something I can prove that happened to me, and people need to see, what you're saying is true and not just copied from others, because authenticity is by experiences built by trust, and because they show you're not just a guru wannabe, because you're sharing genuine proven knowledge. And you have to understand that in the long run, this will build your brand, which is basically just a combination of trust and loyalty given by your audiences. So what that means is whenever you speak, you don't just talk just so you can show that you know stuff and that you are an expert, that you're knowledgeable. But the goal here is every time people listen to you, they listen because they know whatever you say will make their life better, because it might provide the solution to whatever problems that they're going through in life, that you're helping them solve those problems in their business or whatever. Because in the end, the goal is to build a brand that will build you a better and great reputation. And we're done. But wait, I know what you're thinking. Where's the part where I'll teach you or you'll teach me learn how to make content? Where are the new fancy AI tools? Where are the strategies? Where are the secrets to getting a million views and followers in 30, 60, 90 days? Stop. Just like what I said earlier, until you know how your voice sounds like and how your audiences perceives your brand and the things that you say and not how you want it to be, just start. Grab your phone, turn the camera on, talk and tell a story, post it online, and do it every single day until something happens. And eventually, you will make it. Alright? Cool. Peace.